Hey, welcome to my live stream. I'm putting it on live because I'm having real problems uploading videos at the minute with YouTube, but I'm finding a way around it. So this is my way around it. This is part of the free content that I put out on a daily basis to help support, guide and inspire those who want to be supported, guided and inspired. Take what resonates. It's a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with everybody at every time. It is for the 25th of August 2020. Just move that. I can't wait till this webcam comes because I look sort of in the transition of death, I think, with this grey hue. So I'll get rid of that hopefully as soon as the camera comes. So the first card for the 25th of August 2020. So there's the Justice card. We have the Major Arcana in the Justice card. So you can see he's got the balance of the scales, and they're sitting on the throne. They're balanced out and they've got the Sword of Truth in the other side. So the truth is being balanced out. Now, to clarify that, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And so you see this wheel is continuous. It's got and you can be going with the wheel or you can be in the ebb of the wheel. It's the ebb and flow of life. And so as we transition into this enlightenment and we feel the transition of this, justice is being done, but it can't be done in our individual lives or on the collective stage. Hey Tim, hi Tim. As far as if we don't help that wheel keep turning, if we don't go in the direction that is helpful to both us and the collective, that is protective of us and the collective, that we have to take some action in this wheel, because regardless, the Wheel of Fortune will keep on turning. But as far as you having your justice being served to you, whether it's in your individual life or on the collective stage, you have to be taking action in that. So the second card we've got is the Three of Swords in the heart. It's daggers in the heart. You can see how expressive this card is. That that's stormy behind. It's real blank slate. Not much to look at, not much to see, apart from the pain, apart from the daggers in the heart, apart from the words, the mental torture, the things that are made up of air being in that heart and repressing its flow because it's got barriers, and the barriers are mental, the barriers are words that are being put out from you and towards you. And so we've got the Eight of Pentacles to clarify that Three of Swords. And so this is your building up, your stability, your pentacles, your earth, the things that you have to sustain you in this physical reality. And it's taken work to get to that point. Now, the pentacles include, especially when it's coupled with the Three of Swords and on this day, it includes the people around us, the things that we've built up around us, the family, the friends. For a lot of people, that is the heart being daggered this way comes from that direction. It comes from close to the home, close to the family, close to your life, in friendships and what have you. You might be witnessing it in another person's life, in another friend's life, and so you have that connection with it still. And so it speaks of the things that you've built up over time, foundations that you've built up, life that you've built up. It's being shook, and it's being shook in a real painful and a hurtful way, because the Three of Swords is no joke. It's that real, when you have real heartache, maybe when you separate from somebody and the pain is so real. It's just, and the ache in your heart chakra is so real. It's just as real as if you think, is my heart going to stop? Is my heart going to burst out of my chest here? When we're in moments of fear, we feel that energy. And it's because of the energy that's surrounding that heart chakra that we feel like it's so real. It's as real as physically having a heart attack. So there's this real shake up in your mental state regarding the things that you've worked so hard to build up over the years, and the things that you thought were stable in your life are becoming unstable because of these daggers that have been exchanged and have found their way to hook into your heart chakra, into your love, into your emotions. And so the next card is the Lover's card. So again, lots of major arcanas, lots of major energies in people's lives. So that next card being the Lover's card, another major arcana, number 6, and you can see that there's the divine masculine on one side, the divine feminine on the other side, and this sort of archangel type thing being over them with the sun, with enlightenment behind that angel. Now on other decks, this angel has got a lion face, or it's just a lion face with wings. And that speaks to more ancient times, more ancient understandings in the zodiac signs. Leo is king. Hi, James. I'll make sure I do you a reading. I wasn't going to do readings today because I'm just doing this to avoid upload issues, but I'll do your readings. I caught your comment on Facebook, so I'll get that done, I promise, once I've done this. So the Lover's card, meaning that, you know, and when the Leo is on top of these wings, when the depiction, the lion's face is on top of these wings, it speaks to you know, Leo being at the top of the zodiac, Leo being where there's more energy placed in, there's more frequency placed into Leo seasons. And so there's this decision that has to be made that will be maybe ferocious in your life, that will be very much change your life. And it might feel that unstable feeling of the 8 of Pentacles coupled with the 3 of Swords. But in your divinity, in your divine feminine and your divine masculine, there's a decision that needs to be made. Truth has been spoken. So we've got the Page of Swords to clarify, and that's air again. Is a messenger to clarify this Lover's card. And so there's messages that are being exchanged or that need to be exchanged today that maybe you've been putting off. I don't mind, James, that's fine. So I mean, that are it's hard to make those decisions. They've maybe been being put off because it involves the heart chakra. It involves the people that we felt closest to for a lot of people. Now, on the collective stage, to go back round, first, before I do that, on the bottom of the deck, we've got the 7 of Wands. And so this is you having to be in defense mode, you having to be protective of yourself. You're feeling like you're getting attacked in some way, shape, or form. Sorry, and on the bottom of the other deck, we've got the Star card. So this is to speak of that no matter how tough these feelings are, remember the Star card for me being like a circuit board. She's got one foot in the pool there and she's pouring one jug, and then she's got her other knee and foot firmly on the ground, and so she's pouring the other jug on the ground. She's creating a circuit board, she's creating healing through her whole self, connecting her whole self to be able to heal through whatever trials, tribulations, abuses, torments she goes through. For me, when I've been designing some tarot cards, the Star card has bruises and cuts, and because you don't get to be in the energy of the Star card without having gone through something that is tough, needing this level of healing. Now, with the Star card, I would always say, take notice of your dreams, write down your dreams, take notice of the signs and that you have around you, that your subconscious is making you recognize. So if you can hook into that and see, it'll give you more headers and pointers towards which channel you need to go down, what you need to look at. The Star card isn't frightened of any wound. The Star card isn't frightened of looking at any abuse, because the Star card knows that there is always within us the capacity to heal those wounds, the capacity to look at those wounds and take what is good for you and leave what isn't behind, to transmute that energy. Now, the stars around her, there's 7 stars around her, and the 7 of Wands on the bottom of the other deck. The 7 stars is a depiction of the Pleiades stars, but the Pleiades stars are a depiction of wounds, levels that we go through, these 7 levels above and 7 levels above, below, 7 days in the week. You know, the cycles that we go through, the shorter cycles and the more extended cycles. And, you know, birthing process often isn't painless, often isn't the most enjoyable experience. You know, there can be worry within it, there can be pain, physical pain, emotional pain, within any birthing process of anything, whether it is a being, an absolute beautiful baby coming into the world, or whether it is a creative idea of yours, or whether it is you being birthed out of a painful, abusive, or manipulative situation into a more enlightened state. So the Page of Swords is very feisty with that. You know, the Page of Swords is childlike, saying what needs to be said when it needs to be said, making the decisions to do something that is for your betterment, no matter how painful it is. You know, the Page of Swords gets it done. It might be that you find you have messages that help you be pushed in the direction of finally making the decision that will release you from whatever this Three of Swords is, and will release you from the fear of whatever this Eight of Pentacles is in your life, the things that you've taken time to build up, the changes that are occurring. Now, quickly on the collective stage, this is powerful because it's showing that if we are acting responsibly, not divided, if we are acting as a collective, recognizing that all of the organized religions come from ancient knowledge that wasn't divided. All of the political organizations, red, blue, left, right, have been manufactured deliberately to divide. Race has been manufactured deliberately to divide. And so there's been a lot of injustice through that. We need to take the action to keep turning that wheel on the collective, to make things happen, to allow this justice to be fully fulfilling, to really change things around, because the energy around us, sorry, I've been DIYing, my nails are terrible. The energy around us, we are being supported by the very stars above us, and the energy that they are exchanging to us, that we react to, we can't help but do so, to get this justice, to turn the script around again, to really be able to find out what we are capable of without being hemmed and hinged in and abused in whatever which way. And so we do have to come as a collective with that. We do have to recognize that, you know, some things within each sect and more that I've just mentioned that are divided, there might be fear of letting go of certain parts of it that you like. You know, certain races get lifted up at certain points in time and then deliberately drop down, and then others, you know, so that wherever you are on that scale, there might be certain dividends that you might lose out on because systems are changing, because justice is being done. It might not feel so good, it's not so easy to let go of, but this is where we need the wisdom, and we need to act in our divinity with this Lovers card. We need to act in a balanced way and start to really recognize the Lovers card really speaks of the energy of unity, being united, being balanced, not being divided. And so the Lovers card speaks of divine unity, where there's this true and real understanding of oneness, true and real understanding of unity, not universe, not uni versus uni, you know, like we see in even on the university in the collective stage. You know, it's better to go to this one, you get more accolade if you go to that one, even if you get A pluses all in that one. You know, there's this competition, this versing. The ancient knowledge is oneness. The ancient knowledge is complete and utter unity. So we need to start acting and really feeling that way, rather than being defensive about the things we've been allowed to build up in the systems just because it was manufactured for us to do so. And see what our capabilities, let go of the fear and really realize our capabilities when we are just allowed to create. We could actually have a more unified field and see more creative things that are coming to the fore. Ancient knowledge coming back to present day, using steam to propel machinery, all of those things that are good for everything and everyone, that is alchemy, that takes from the earth and doesn't rape the earth. It gives back something that is useful. It doesn't create more pollution that isn't useful, that the earth has to work harder. That is the basis of all things, even witchcraft. It's the alchemy, the unity of being able to come together, being able to bring individuals together, being able to have differences but still work together, being able to bring different compounds together to create something that is healing. And so, but those compounds are still separate, they're still individuals, they still have their own accolade, their own right, but in their own right, but they don't have to be competitive towards one another. So that's the reading for the 25th of August 2020. I'm going to do, because James missed me, and I missed him, and I caught your comment, James, on Facebook, that you missed out on the free readings that I was doing the other night. So we're going to do your reading. Do you have a specific question, James, or do you just want some general guidance? You just put in the comments as to whether you want anything specific to be addressed or whether you just want that general guidance. Misfire for James. Just general. Okay, James. Sometimes it's interesting to have specific questions, but other times it's nice, I think, to do generals, because sometimes things pop up that you didn't realize you hi Alex, that you didn't realize you needed to look at, but then something clicks when you get that backup from the cards. So we've got the Knight of Coins, James. Judgment. Powerful. For James. And then we've got the Nine of Coins. The Devil on the bottom of the deck. So James, hi Barry. There's my Barry. So James, with this Knight of Coins, you know, there's this there's an authority here. There's this feeling of you're very good at strategy. You're very good at seeing how things work. You're very good at having the discernment to know where to put people and how you would get the best out of them. But there's this feeling that you're still not fulfilling that. You know you're capable of so much more. You know you're capable. The King of Pentacles is Pentacles, the earth, the things we have around us, the home, the car, the things that we use, the people around us, the things that we can feel and touch and smell. But you know that you've got so much more within you to expand so much more. And this drive for business that you know you can accomplish. It's just looking at different ways to get around things. I feel like you've been halted in some way. And so to clarify the Knight of Coins, Pentacles, we've got Justice for you, but it's from a different deck, obviously. So that's come up in today's reading that I've just done previously. So the justice that needs to be done is that there's some things in your life that have halted you from really expanding quite as much as I can feel that you can and that you know that you can. And so this this justice card brings up the fact that, hang in there, but, you push that wheel too, and that, justice will be done, whatever that is in your life that you feel you've been halted back by, or by who, maybe. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Devil card for you, James. And so the Devil card, another major arcana. And so the Devil card, I explained this today because I love Seven Boma, and he's got some great teachings, and he really just clarified what I know really well. But on the radio today that I was doing, I did a quick diagram. I know I'm old school. I should share the screen. Hey, Susie, my Susie. Susie, it was just off the cuff because they wouldn't upload the video again, so I just went on. So that this, when we're talking about the Devil, if you were to do your balance point as a human, it's just below the navel. And so, James, there's certain things, and this is where our lower frequency dwells, and it's really weaponized against us through religion, through the way things are set up, and then that filters down into our own lives, in that these inner demons aren't useless. The description of a diamond, you get it out of the ground, it's dull, it's rough. When you need to chisel it, you need to cut it in a certain way to get it to shine and be a diamond. So if you look at the word diamond, demon, daemon, it's all of the same family. And so in these lower realms, in this Devil card, it's fiery, and there's skeletons underneath him. Now, in the other Devil cards, the more traditional ones, I can't find one to hand right now, but in the more, I can't. So in the more traditional ones, the Devil is behind the divine feminine and divine masculine, like in this Lovers card, and is the divine feminine, divine masculine are chained to this Devil. And so there's a level of you that has been chained up, or something that you feel needs to be addressed with this Justice card that has held you back. Now, this is where the inner demons lie. This is the lower realms. Now, they're not to be made useless in your mind, to do this, to work in your lower realms. If you are to go within and really look at what chains you up to this Devil card, it would be, that's where we build our foundations, that's where we build our strength, that's where we find out how strong we are, when we can actually not only control these inner demons, but use them as foundational blocks and as gifts, as lessons for us to build up from this lower realm up to our higher state. It's the contrast of the higher and lower state. We wouldn't know we were getting into a higher state, or we wouldn't know we were capable of doing so, if we didn't have these inner demons below the navel energetically, these things that have made our divinity not so divine in certain aspects. So it's to give you the message of, this is sort of behind you, but there's still things that you need to niggle on, limitations, words that have been said to you, things that you've said to yourself that have limited you to life as is now, when you know you're capable of so much more. Instead of being regretful of whatever those people or those things are, use them as your foundational building blocks, to your experience building blocks, to build up from that level, and not be chained to them, not be controlled by the devil, but to be able to be free of the devil, but be able to have a reference point of what you've been through, what you've experienced, and what's got you to here, and where you can go thereafter, because you're no longer chained. And so some kind of justice is coming up for you in your life that is going to really help you with that, and really help you embody this energy of the King of Pentacles, that has the capacity to grow in this reality, to create things in this reality that are amazing. And so the second card we have is the Judgment card. So huge energy for you, James. Now, the Judgment card is it's the trumpet calling from the heavens, something pulling you to your soul's path, something pulling you back onto the path that you're supposed to be on. It's the second chance card. It's the part of the cycle where you get awakened to self more, and you have more power to go forward. Now, this is huge for you, James, because to clarify that, you get another major arcana card, and it's the Temperance card. And so Temperance is that balancing card. Again, that balance point is actually just below the navel. And so we find our balance through even negative situations that we go through. We find our balance through positive. We have the positive and negative. And on other cards, the Temperance card is holding up 2 jugs, and she's pouring, and the 2 streams cross at the heart chakra. At that point, she transmutes the energy. So even the negative things, by looking at those inner demons, those chains that bind you to this devil energy, by being able to look at them and then transmute that into positive, rather than looking at things that you felt you had to hide about yourself or be disappointed about yourself, looking at it as a gift, as an experience, as a building block that can take you forward on your path, especially with this Judgment card, is amazing. So the 9 of Pentacles comes up on the bottom of the deck for you after that. And this is, you see that there's a light tree in the background and a dark tree in the background. And so it takes those experiences to build up. This is abundance. This is being able to make something, do something that brings in this alignment with your abundance, but it brings in this balance, and you wouldn't be able to get there or get here without having that experience of the light and the dark. You see that actually on this card, and I've just noticed this, it's a relatively new deck, the light tree is actually upside down. The roots are upside down, the branches, sorry. On this tree, the dark tree, it's the right side up. So we start at the foundation, usually in our biggest growth periods, in our darker states, or having to address our darker states, our lower frequencies, because they're important building blocks. They're important ways for you to go forward, but it has to be in a balanced state. And because you're doing that, or because you're about to do that, and it's huge, powerful shift in energy in your life, breaking those chains that bind you to that devil energy, but using that devil energy as your base layer of passion to go forward, make things better, make things greater within yourself and therefore outside of yourself, is huge. And so to clarify this 9 of coins, we've got this this page of wands. And so this is to say, especially with that Judgment card coming up, look, he's being guided. He hasn't got a map or anything like that. He's mutable, he's flowing. And so he doesn't mind that plans change, and he doesn't mind that things look different as to maybe how he envisaged his life to be before he started off on this journey. And so to be more flowing, be more mutable, James, to see that you can be guided more gently to your path that you know you're getting called to, and the expansion potential here is huge. And take on board those, go for the opportunities that come up, because it'll pay off for you in dividends. It really will. So I hope that helps, James. Let me know how you go with that. Let me know on Facebook or on here. It's totally up to you. But absolutely good energy, good intent. I back that all of the way, because it's all very constructive and very expansive, and it'll be very impressive to see you manifest all of that and more. So I hope that helps. Who is here? Got Alex, Susie, James, of course, and Barry. You awesome dudes. Thank you for coming in, even though it was off the cuff. That's brilliant. Thank you. So the energies have been really funny this week, in that, it's a little bit numb in a way. You don't quite know what's going on. There's things veiled, and it's a little bit bit of a blind spot over the last 7 days leading up to here. So yeah, it's just to, I said to my friend earlier, my granny used to say, there's a right day to do the right thing. If you try and do the right thing on the wrong day, or the wrong thing on the right day, it'll explode or work. You know, you can't. It's difficult when you're dealing with energies. You do have to learn how to be an alchemist. You do have to know there's a day for everything, and so to just get through this week and be calm and about the stillness of this week, and be wise to just see where you see those very subtle messages this week, will be awesome. On a plus note, I slept so soundly last night because I saw so many people outside Buckingham Palace protesting so loudly at the so-called royal family about how, you know, they are inappropriate towards our children, and that is awesome. That is people taking action, turning the wheel, and actually not being distracted with the ridiculous information that they're trying to put around us so much to try and distract, but actually get into the nitty-gritty of no matter what part of the community or no matter what part of society you belong in, if you have got a normal heart chakra in any single way, children come first. Children are foundational. So threaten our children, we turn up at your gates shouting loudly. And that is the change. That is part of the justice that I was talking about in the daily reading today. It is, Susie, it is boom. Because they were shouting, nobody was being violent, nobody was, but you don't see that. You don't see that against this so-called royal family, pirates that be. And so, you know, hijacking a throne that shouldn't even exist anyway. So this is an awesome day for that. I'm still riding the wave of that and sending such good energy to everybody that was there. Brilliant. So if you're on my Facebook, you can share that post as much as you can, because that is something that is people taking action and turning that wheel and going from the foundation that we can all agree on. Children come first. My children are your children. Your children are my children. I'll stand in front of your children just as much as I would stand in front of my children, our children. And so that's a good thing, very good thing, excellent. Oh, thank you, Barry. Thank you for watching that. Doc Anand and his sister Animal are lovely, lovely people. So I love doing that radio show with them. James, I don't mind having the throne if the throne was benevolent, but that's the problem. They aren't, are they? No. And anybody who wants a throne within these systems that we exist in isn't of the right energy for the collective, because you can't sit on those thrones in the systems that those thrones exist in as they are today, because you cannot, you know, there's lots of TV series that depict the Queen, and one of them was The Crown, and there's the underlying thread all through is that this crown is actually separate to, they represent the crown. And so it keeps being said throughout these series, the crown must survive, the crown must live. And so they know the people within the royal family, and over the years, you know, they're going to get killed, or they're going to die, or they're going to, so they're expendable. They have got ways of making sure they come back in same family circles, but they are expendable. This crown, and this is what I talk about when I say be careful what you put your energy into, because even an inanimate object like a crown, or where you don't even really see it, you see depictions of it on a head, you'd see that, but you don't. This crown is an enigma. It's become a being in itself, because we have people protecting the crown, loving, because the royal family sells the crown. And so that crown is a system in itself of oppressive, abusive behavior. that has allowed people sitting under it with certain titles to literally pillage the world of knowledge, of divinity, of access to health, access to safety. And so all of those things go under the umbrella of that crown. So that's, for me, what should not exist. Because in this system, you can't possibly sit on that throne and try and be benevolent within these systems where there's judges buying into it. There's all sorts of people. I mean, Margaret Thatcher, somebody in politics, I wish I could remember names, wrote a book years ago about Margaret Thatcher's aide being a known and dangerous child abuser. And so they wrote about it and said they were slightly worried about that fact. And the quote is in the book that it said he would be more discreet. And so that was acceptable to them. He kept that role. So under that crown is all of our parliamentary system. You know, Parliament isn't actually allowed to speak against the crown, speak against the Queen, which is ridiculous when the Parliament is supposed to be our voice for our concerns, our words, but it can't actually speak against the very thing, the very umbrella that controls and abuses so many people, including the British people around the world. Oh, thank you, Barry. Yes, Susie, Doc is lovely. He's so funny. He just says what he thinks and thinks what he says. Excellent. I've read that. I don't mind having that. I've read that one. That must be why I slept decently last night too. I think it was, James. Well, I'm going to say it was anyway because it's had me on a bit of a high. I must admit, I keep watching my own posts I would wish I was there. Like, God, I will be there for the next one. I'll have childcare for the next one. Makes me think of what I'm trying to do with the Facebook group. What I feel like is my calling. Absolutely, James, absolutely. That group that you're setting up is awesome, and you allowed me to post in there, which is so kind of you. But it is going back in time, keeping the elements that are good, that we've created, that humans have created, that we have now. But you know, being able to go back in time, being able to pick up the things that were good within that, and being able to live a little bit in fantasy too as well, in that, you know, we've been made to feel also serious and also silly when we believe in alchemy, when we believe in nature, when we believe we can be spoken to by spirit, when actually all of the things that we have today that are scientific is built upon, you know, things that would be seen as spiritual woo-woo now, which is ridiculous. It's just been so clever the way that they flipped it around. You know, there's people, Dr. Shiva, who, you know, needs support. He's a brave soul speaking truth about what's going on now and before. He was actually the creator of email. And because he did it outside of MIT, you know, he got accolade for it. And then all of a sudden, when they realized how big it was going to be, they tried to steal it from him. And he went over to India and has done a lot of work there to show the corruption that is there in the government. And so, what was I saying all of that for? So yes, so he speaks of the ways and means that his mother, who was an academic, also could see people's faces and diagnose what was wrong with them. And now they're using that in technology. And she was mapping the face. She was seeing which crevices were around, the symmetry, all of those things, and just being instinctively, being so connected to her spirit to have her born gift of being able to diagnose people by looking at the face. Now we use AI to do the same thing. All of the things that they're saying on you that we've built up now are way back in ancient times that were our own powers that we could make happen ourselves. And so to not be afraid to let go of certain things, like the throne, because they've proved that they can't not try and control and manipulate through it. If you want to look up something, look up the Canadian children. that never came back from a picnic after being so blessed to go on a picnic with said crown. So yeah, that it wasn't even I nearly said riot. That protest was amazing. I've watched it so many times. So please go. I'll send it to you, Susie. I'll send you an email because you'll love it too. You know my passion lies there. So I'll leave it at that if everybody's okay with that. And I'm going to pop in and try and do a live later tonight, or it might be tomorrow. I'm going to see how things go. Got some things to do with the boys. Do you, James? Yeah, that picnic. And there'll have been many more like that hasn't been reported upon. But yeah, that picnic was no picnic, quite literally. You have a good night too, Barry. More goods. I love you. I love you too, Susie. Thank you, everybody that is here. You're awesome people. When people are starting out and trying to expand and build something, I'm so blessed that, yes, I haven't got a lot of people yet, but the people that I've got are so beautiful. They're such beautiful souls, and the new people coming in have such good energy, and I just want you to know how much I actually appreciate that, and how much that actually helps my business side of things too. So I give something for free. You guys, all of the guys here and beautiful girl, that you guys do this for me too. You give that energy back in dividends. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really love you all. Favor to all here, Susie. Favor to all. So it shall be. Okay, I'm going to leave because this was the long goodbye. Love you all. See you soon. Mwah.